Good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 41 of Devotional Time for Mindset. Hey, Kenneth. Hey, Colin. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know where you're tuned in from. If you're watching right now, then comment live in the comments. And again, let me know where in the world you are tuned in from. If you are catching the replay later on, then comment replay and still let me know where you are tuned in from. Okay. Hey, Carlotta. Hey, Dottie. Hey, Arnetta. Hey, Aisha. Let me know where you are tuned in from. Welcome back. Good to see you guys again. Okay, everybody, we are on day 41 of Devotional Time for Mindset. Hey, Mercedes, good to see you back again. Hey, Missy. Hey, Tammy. And day 41 of our 100-day journey. Let me put the mic in front of me. That might help. A devotional time for mindset. If you are here, we are on our 100-day journey to just grow in our spiritual walk with the Lord and really understand how powerful our minds are and the way that the enemy is going to attack our minds so that we can be prepared to counterattack and protect our minds as much as possible. Mercedes says she's tuning in live from Louisville, Kentucky. Nice. I will actually be in Kentucky this month for a play I'm in. Hey, Yasmi. Hey, Mervelli. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Arnetta is tuning in live from Raleigh, North Carolina. Good to see you. Aisha and Colin, is this your first time at Devotional Time for Mindset? Let me know. Hey, Lynette. Hey, Gianluca. Hey, Sydney. Over here on Facebook, we have Fran tuning in live from Chicago. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you. I just want to thank all of you for being here. I know that you can be doing anything in the world, but you are spending your time here at Devotional Time for Mindset. And I pray that you are blessed on tonight. And if you would like to follow along, because this devotional is guided by the book Battlefield of the Mind Devotional by Joyce Meyer, then you can download your free copy of the book at mindsetmastersuite.com. Okay, you can download it for free. Nancy is back with us live from LA. Hey, Nancy. Aisha says, greetings. I'm listening from Fort Lauderdale in South Florida, and it's my first time. Well, welcome, welcome. Put on your seatbelt and get ready for the ride, okay? Everybody show Nancy some love. This is her first time at Devotional Time for Mindset. Hey, Shar. Hey, Brenda. Okay, guys, so you know what to do. If you want to follow along in our devotional reading, you can download your free copy of the book at mindsetmastersuite.com. You can submit prayer requests at mindsetmastersuite.com. You can join me live by clicking the join live button at mindsetmastersuite.com. Contribute your answers to our favorite list, okay, Jamaica and Kendall, at mindsetmastersuite.com. And just check out all the tools and resources that are available for you at mindsetmastersuite.com. That is your one-stop shop for everything Devotional Time for Mindset. If you want to check out some of the other platforms that we're streaming on right now, then you can do that at mindsetmastersuite.com. So if you want to view it on YouTube or Facebook or one of the other areas, like our sister Jill here is tuning in live over on YouTube, and she's got the happy face emoji. Thanks for tuning in. MindsetMasterSuite.com is where you can find all the things. Aisha says, thank you. You're absolutely welcome. Hey, Veronica. So again, allow me to reintroduce myself to some and formally introduce myself to others. Hey, Tootie. My name is Lindsay Vertner. I'm a mindset expert, speaker, and actress, and I work with high-achieving leaders to help them prioritize self without guilt, specifically in the areas of self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline, because those three areas subconsciously impact every single thing we do. And so it is a part of my purpose to help each and every one of you to create your first-class life full of purpose, fulfillment, and happiness, which is why we're here on Devotional Time for Mindset. Hey, Gito. Hey, Michelle. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Jules. If you're just tuning in, let me know where you are tuning in from, okay? Meanwhile, let's get into day 41 of our devotional. As you know, I will read the devotional directly from the book. Again, you can download your copy at mindsetmastersuite.com for free. And then after I read the devotional, we will have our discussion, okay? So put your questions, your insights, your aha moments in the comment section, all right? Hey, user 8713, good to see you back again. Austin, Charvel, good to see you. All right, day 41 is titled God's Vision for You. The opening scripture reads, "For I know the thoughts and plans that I have for you, says the Lord, thoughts and plans for welfare and peace, and not for evil, to give you hope in your final outcome. That's Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. The devotional reads, God's plan for the people of the nation of Israel was only for their good, yet they wandered around in the wilderness for 40 years on what was actually an 11-day journey. Why? Was it their enemies, their circumstances, the trials along the way, or something entirely different that prevented them from arriving at their destination in a timely manner? God called the children of Israel out of bondage in Egypt to go to the land he had promised to give them as a perpetual inheritance, a land that flowed with milk and honey and every good thing they could imagine, a land in which there would be no shortage of anything they needed, a land of prosperity in every realm of their existence. But the Israelites had no positive vision for their lives, no dreams. They knew where they came from, but they did not know where they were going. Everything was based on what they had seen in the past or what they could presently see. They did not know how to see with the eye of faith. We really shouldn't view the Israelites with astonishment because most of us do the same thing they did. We keep dealing with the same problems over and over again. The disappointing result is that it takes us years to experience victory over something that could have and should have been dealt with quickly. I come from a background of abuse. My childhood was filled with fear and torment, and my personality was a mess. I built up walls of protection to keep people from hurting me, not realizing that while I was locking others out, I was also locking myself in. I was filled with fear and believed that the only way I could face life was to be in control so no one could hurt me. As a young adult trying to live for Christ and follow the Christian lifestyle, I knew where I had come from, but I did not know where I was going. I felt that my future would always be marred by my past. I thought, how could anyone with a past like mine ever be all right? It's impossible. But Jesus had a different plan. He said, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to announce release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to send forth as delivered those who are oppressed. That's from Luke 4:18. Jesus came to open the prison doors and set the captives free, and that included me. However, I did not make any progress until I started to believe that I really could be set free. I had to get rid of my negative thinking and replace it with a positive vision for my life. I had to believe that neither my past nor my present could determine my future. Only then could Jesus free me from the bondage of my past, and free me he did. What a marvelous miracle. You may have had a miserable past. You may even be in current circumstances that are very negative and depressing. You may be facing situations that are so bad it seems you have no real reason to hope. But I say to you boldly, your future is not determined by your past or your present. Most of the generation the Lord called out of Egypt never entered into the promised land. Instead, they died in the wilderness. To me, this is one of the saddest things that can happen to a child of God. To have so much available and yet never be able to enjoy any of it. Start believing that God's word is true. Mark 9:23 assures you that with God, all things are possible because you serve a God who created everything you see out of the unseen realm. See Hebrews 11:3. You can give him your nothingness and watch him go to work on your behalf. All you have to do is have faith in him and believe his word. He will do the rest. The closing prayer reads, Dear Father, I thank you for loving me and having a vision, a good plan for my life. I pray that you will help me overcome any negative thoughts of problems, past or present, that come against my mind and make my life what you want it to be. Amen. Okay, family, that is day 41 of our devotional reading, and that means it's time for our discussion. Hey, Sarah, Ryan. Hey, Amy. Hey, Jackie. Hey, MJ. DC is in the house. Oh, you done Netflixing and chilling? Hey, Kelly. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Katasha is back with us, tuning in live from Maryland. Hey, 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 everybody. If you are just tuning in, you are watching day 41 of our 100-day journey of devotional time for mindset. If you would like to follow along with us, you can download your free copy of the book, Battlefield of the Mind Devotional, by going to mindsetmastersuite.com and clicking the button. Okay, you can also submit your prayer requests. If you want to join me live in the discussion right now, verbally, you can click the join live button and you can keep your camera turned off if you prefer. And please contribute your answers to our favorite list that will be sent out at the end of our 100-day journey. And lastly, if devotional time for mindset has impacted you in any way, please leave a testimony. Just click the leave a testimony button, okay? There's literally a button for everything at mindsetmastersuite.com. Carrington is back here. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Hilda. Hey, Raina. Hey, Yvette. Hey, Luce. Okay, guys, let's get into our discussion. All right, that means I need for y'all to talk to me in the comments, your insights, your ahas, anything that you would like to share. And remember, this is a safe space, okay? Hashtag no judgment zone. All right. All right. If I'm talking to one, I'm talking to all of us. We're here to support and encourage each other. Okay. And so, especially leave your questions in the comments as well. And please do be aware that we are streaming live across 8 different platforms. So, I might miss a comment or question or two, but I do my best to catch them all. So, let's get into it. Day 41, God's vision for you. How many of you actually have a vision for your life? Hey, Jenna, do you have a vision for your life? How many of you have actually, if you do have a vision, made sure that your vision was in alignment with God's purpose and will for your life? Mercedes has her hand up. Hey, Drew. Because that's a whole nother issue right there. You might have a vision, but did you double check that it was aligned with God's will for your life? Michelle says yes over on Instagram. Because that's where things can get kind of tricky, user 8713. Okay. But here's the thing. Technically, we're free, but we have to ask ourselves, are we really free? Are you free? Are you free? Are you free? Are you free on Clubhouse? Or are you being held hostage by fear? Are you being held hostage by procrastination? Are you being held hostage by unworthiness? Are you being held hostage by doubt? Are you being held hostage by a lack of confidence? Are you being held hostage by unworthiness? Did I say that one already? Are you being held hostage by shame or by guilt? By the feelings of not being good enough? Are you being held hostage by anxiety or depression? Jill says, now I have. Hey, Truly Me 212. Hey, Spain Elaine. Welcome back again. We have to ask ourselves those honest questions. Nancy says, hostage. Yes, fear. Thank you for being truthful and honest. Hey, Faith. Hey, Antonio. Because if we aren't truthful and honest, then how are we really going to make improvements and change? Hey, Lashana. Thanks for tuning in. We have to ask ourselves, are we being held hostage by the seeds of the enemy that is holding us back from doing the things that we need to do, holding us back from achieving the vision that we have for our lives? Okay, Dominique? So here's the thing, family. You have to intentionally choose to have your exodus. Mercedes says, yes. Well, this year I decided not to let fear hold me back. Round of applause for Mercedes, because a lot of people allow fear to hold them back. Hey, RJ, hopefully you're not one of those people. Mercedes was honest that she's working on that this year. So you have to intentionally choose to have your exodus. Now you might be saying, Lindsay, what is exodus? I'm glad you asked, haters. Okay. So exodus means to leave or to exit. Generally, for the majority of it, it's usually a large group of number leaving, a large number of people, excuse me, leaving from something. Like you might have a mass exodus that leaves a corporation, like they all quit at the same time, around the same time. The Israelites had a exodus out of Egypt. But you can also just simplify it to the act of leaving in a large group or not. So, are you choosing, like our sister Mercedes over on TikTok, to leave that thing that is holding you hostage behind? To leave that fear behind, to leave that feeling of unworthiness behind? Nancy has gotten hand clap emojis. Hey, Mimi Howard, thanks for tuning in. Let me know where you're watching from. Okay, so today we're talking about God's vision for you, and in just a little bit in the discussion we're going to talk about what that looks like to create a vision for yourself and making sure that it's in alignment with God's will for you. But I want to share with you a conversation that I had with a good friend of mine literally just a couple days ago. I think it was last weekend, maybe. Mimi's tuning in from Indianapolis. Welcome. I had a conversation with a friend, and I don't remember how we got started talking about the topic. But then she was like, I just want to get your thoughts on something. I just was kind of feeling some kind of way, and I wanted, somebody else's thoughts and opinions on the situation because I'm not really sure. Is it just me or whatever? And she was like, I was feeling kind of troubled because a friend that was talking to me was like, there is a curse on her family and it's been there for generations, and she went and spoke with someone, and this person that she spoke with was able to break the curse off of her. So now she is excited because this person broke the curse off of her after speaking with her. And she was just like, what are your thoughts on that? And I was like, oh, okay. Listen, here's how I feel, because we've all heard of curses, and some of us have maybe even used generational curses. I've used the phrase generational curses. However, I feel that there's a difference between generational curses and someone saying, "Oh, you cursed me," or somebody out there cursed me. They put some voodoo spirit or some hoodoo spirit, and this is not a downplay on anyone's culture or background or anything like that. Okay, so let's just say that this is just what I believe and how the Spirit has led me to understand it, is that people can't put curses on you. You can believe that they've done something, and your thoughts and you spewing on it and ruminating on it, you start to behave in a way that makes that thing come true, that self-fulfilling prophecy that we talked about before. But ultimately, if you have faith in God and you believe in God and you trust that He is the provider of all things in your life, and you trust that you believe in Romans 8:28 that all things work together for your good according to His will and purpose, and that what was meant for evil, God can work it out for your good, then I don't think you can also believe that someone can curse you and make you experience things that you wouldn't normally experience had they not put a spell on you. Does that make sense? You guys following? Because if you're under the influence of God, then no weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? That's in the word. However, I do feel that there are generational patterns that we can keep passing on to our future generations. And that is called a generational curse. Not in the sense that someone was sitting and they put some chicken feet in a pot of water and boiled it with some eagle blood or whatever and hexed you. But like there's generational patterns that no one has made the intentional choice to break for the next generation. You guys following? You following me, Miss Irene and Bonita? Nancy says yes. I'm glad y'all are following because, I might say the word curse and some people start to tune out like, oh no, she's talking hoodoo. Mercedes says yes. Okay, good. So we can have that thing where, okay, our great great grandma had issues with toxic relationships and she passed it on to our great grandma. And then our great grandma passed it on to our grandma. And then our grandma passed it on to our mom. And then our mom passed it on to us. And it wasn't necessarily that somebody cursed the family, but more so a situation has occurred and those belief systems and those behaviors are being passed down to the children. And then those children are growing up into adults and further passing them on to the children. And there has to be someone in the family to make an intentional decision to say, I don't want this for my life. And I don't want this for future generations of this family. I don't want this for my children and my children's children. So I am going to do the work to break the generational curse so that we can have something better and know that there is a better way. Make sense? Hey, wait, warrior woman. Diana's got thumbs up emoji. Nancy says, great explanation over on Clubhouse. Katasha says yes, and Jill says yes, both over on YouTube. Mimi's got her thumbs up. Hey, sissy, thanks for tuning in. And so whenever you hear me talk about curses, that's what I mean. The generational curses that we have to be intentional. Just like Jesus helped the Israelites to break their generational curses, but a lot of them didn't accept it, which is why a lot of them died in the wilderness and never saw the promised land. Okay, Cecilia? And so that's why I said we have to ask ourselves, are we intentionally choosing to have an exodus from the things that are holding us in hostage, the things that are keeping us in bondage? Because maybe y'all have heard the song, maybe some of you haven't. If you haven't, go and Google the song Break Every Chain. Who's that by? Is that by Tasha Cobb? I can't quite remember right now. If somebody remembers, let me know who's that by. I think it's by Tasha Cobb, but just Google the gospel song Break Every Chain. I'm sure a whole bunch of different versions will come up. And that's true because God can and he will break every chain that is holding you hostage because that is not what God desires for each and every one of us. But what happens is that God will break the chain and then we will create invisible chains. Okay, it is Tasha Cobb. Thank you, Wait Warrior. So Google that. Break Every Chain by Tasha Cobb. Listen to that song. Hey, Lamita. So God will break the change of bondage. God will break the chains of bondage. But then what happens is we will go and put ourselves in invisible chains and keep ourselves in bondage, which is where the enemy wants us to be. Because if we're in bondage, if we're held hostage to the fear, the confusion, the doubt, the anxiety, the depression, whatever it is that is your kryptonite in your life, then we can't be walking in our purpose. We can't be living in the promised land that God has for us. So we have to be intentional about creating that exodus. And how do we do that? Well, first we become aware, which is what we're doing here at Devotional Time for Mindset. But then we have to have the vision. Let's turn to our verse of the day, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. Hey, Ava. Hey, her. The real Purple Michelle is back. Good to see you again. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, and this is from the Contemporary English Version. We actually heard, I don't know which version, but we heard a different version. I don't think it was the King James Version, but it doesn't matter. From the devotional that said, for I know the thoughts and plans that I have for you, says the Lord, thoughts and plans for welfare and peace, and not for evil, to give you hope in your final outcome. Okay, so let's look at another version. You see it on the screen for those of you tuned in on certain platforms. I will bless you with a future filled with hope, a future of success, not of suffering. We talked about what happens when we're suffering on previous days. The enemy wants us to suffer, but God doesn't want that for us. But a lot of times we will create invisible chains that keep us in a place of suffering. Hey, Perry Sean. Okay. So, do you want to be in bondage forever? Simple question. Do you want to be in bondage forever? Whatever it is for your life, because each of us can be held in bondage in different ways. Some of you are held in bondage financially. You can't get out of debt, can't get out of poverty. You always pinching pennies. You're always robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then turning around and robbing Paul so you can pay Peter back. That gets tiring. That gets exhausting. Hey, Valencia. Trust me, I know, I've been there. But who's going to make the choice to get out of financial poverty? Jill says, no way. Mercedes says, nope. Nancy says, nope, I sure don't. Most of us don't. If not all of us don't. I'm hoping to say that nobody wants to be in bondage willingly. Nobody wants to suffer willingly. However, we keep ourselves there willingly. It may be unintentional, but somebody has to make the choice to break the chains fully, to break the generational curses that may be present. And you have to ask yourself, is that somebody you? Am I going to create new and healthy patterns and behaviors and new and healthy ways of thinking for myself and everyone that's connected to me? Not just your children and the generations younger, but you just doing that and walking in that fully can also help the generations older and the generations out to the side that are the same age. It doesn't have to just go down, because I've said before, you can learn from anybody. We can learn from anybody. We can learn from any situation. When you are walking in your purpose and God is using you as a light, he can touch anybody, whether they're 97 or 9. But we have to be willing to do that. Mercedes says, right. Okay, so do you want to be in bondage forever, or will you write the vision and make it plain? Because that's what the Bible tells us to do. And we always going to turn to the word, because the word is permanent and the word is true and the word is the same for me and for you. It literally tells us to write the vision, make it plain. Let's look at it. We'll look at it from 2 different versions of the Bible. Those of you, some of you can see it on the screen, but from Habakkuk. Hopefully I say that correctly. I always feel a little funny. Habakkuk. Feel like I got to harsh it at the end. Habakkuk. Habakkuk. Now I can't say it at all. Chapter 2, verses 2 through 3. And Habakkuk was a prophet. We just gonna call him Habby, okay? Because I'm not gonna keep trying to say this name. Lori says LOL. Diana says good one. Good to see you, Diana. Hey, Zinderella. Okay, so we just gonna call him Haba for short. So Haba was a prophet, and he's talking to the Lord because Haba been going through the struggle. I see the laughing emoji from Perry Sean. Nancy says LOL. Perry Sean says write the vision and make it plain over on Clubhouse. So he's a prophet and he been going through the struggle. So he's talking to God. He don't really talk to the people. He keep all his conversations between him and the Lord. And so he's talking to the Lord like, I'm trying to get out of this struggle. What should I do? And so the Lord answers him. And actually, this is starting the verse, okay? Verse 2. The Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. And you might be saying, Lindsay, what do you mean he may run who reads it? Thanks for asking, Diane. That's a great question. So, in other words, anybody that reads it can take it and run with it. You get what I mean? Y'all heard that saying before? I'm going to give you this information. Now you take it and run. That's essentially came from the Bible. Verse 3 says, for still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Mercedes says, make it plain, correct? Listen, Mercedes, I'm glad you said that. That was the perfect comment, because exactly what we're about to do is we're going to look at the contemporary English version, which makes it a little bit more plain English. Okay, the words are put together in a less confusing way. Carrington says, I got it. Mercedes says, wait, it's too late. I already put it on the screen. Haba, chapter 2, verses 2 through 3 from the contemporary English version says, then the Lord told me, I will give you my message in the form of a vision. Write it clearly enough to be read at a glance. Verse 3 says, at the time I have decided, my words will come true. You can trust what I say about the future. It may take a long time, but keep on waiting. It will happen. So essentially, God is telling him, look, I'm going to give you the vision, write the vision, make it plain. Don't try and make it all complicated. Don't go be adding your own sauce and your own ingredients to the recipe. I already got the perfect recipe. I'm going to give it to you. Nice and plain and simple. Keep it that way. Now, it might take a while to cook this recipe, but if you do it and follow it, you're going to have a delicious meal at the end. Hey, Dr. Connie. Okay? So God will give you the vision. And if he gives you the vision, he'll give you the provision. Okay? So don't be blocked by your past situation. Don't be blocked by the things that you see right now. Because I'm going to say it again. If he called you, he will equip you. If he gave you the vision, he will give you the provision. That means he already knows the things you have right now. He knows how much money is in your bank account. He knows how much education you got. He knows how much support you got. He knows what skills you have and don't have. But if he gave you the vision, all you got to do is be obedient, honey. And when you're obedient, he will provide you with the things that you need at the time that you need them. And we have to make sure that we don't quit, because we know that the enemy wants us to quit. And so he warns us, may come fast, but it may take a long time, but you have to keep on waiting, because it will happen. Why? Because God's not a liar, and he will always make true on his promises. So if he promised you a vision, you can best believe he's going to make that vision reality. Mercedes says, yes, we must be patient during the process. Hello, somebody said it. She said. Carrington says, I got it. I needed to hear this. Hey, Mama Vivian. Nancy says, yep. So that's Habakkuk, chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's keep going this. So we know that we have to write the vision and make it plain. Don't try to complicate things. Have you ever heard somebody say, just go back to the basics? You know, sometimes we dismiss our instruction because it seems too easy. Oh, that can't be the answer. That seems too easy. But did you do it? We're the ones that like to overcomplicate things. We're the ones that want to try and figure out, okay, so they told me 1 + 1 = 2, but I'm pretty sure if I just take away the 2, divide it by 3, add a 4, make an exponent to like the 10th degree, and then divide it by 99.87, that I could also get 2. Nobody told you to do all that. Lori says basics. Nobody told you to do all that. God said, write the vision, make it plain. Because if he gave you the vision, he's going to give you the provision, okay? So you might be asking yourself, well, Lindsay, how do we write the vision and make it plain? One, we need to make sure that we have an intimate relationship with God, because he will give us the vision, especially if we ask him for the vision. Diana says, amen, kiss theory. And if you don't know what the KISS theory is, it said KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Listen, God ain't call you stupid, but we be acting stupid sometimes. Hey, Dan. Write the vision, make it plain. Okay? So first we got to have an intimate relationship with God. so that we can hear the vision that he's given us, so that we can see the vision that he's given us. Maybe he's actually given us a vision. Maybe it comes in a dream. Maybe it comes in a message. Maybe you are in your office and all of a sudden you get this idea out of nowhere and you're like, dang, this idea is good. Let me write this down before I forget. That was likely God downloading something onto you. Diana says, no offense, Mercedes, LOL. Listen, you know we like to have fun, Diana. I'm sure nobody in Devotional Time for Mindset family took offense. But that's what it stands for. And it's funny because we do be acting stupid sometimes, guys. And it's okay. We've all been there. We'd all done had a stupid moment. But what's important is that we grow and improve. We don't repeat those stupid moments, okay, kid? So, what was I just saying? Write the vision, make it plain. Yes, God will download the vision to you through some kind of way. We talked about the different ways that God speaks to us on a previous day. Lori says, none taken. Thank you. I told you, Lori. I told you, Diana. So we have to make sure that we have an intimate relationship with God so we can hear when he's speaking to us and so we can discern his voice from everybody else's voice. If you missed that lesson, go back and watch that replay from just a couple days ago. I think that was from Still Small Voice. I think that was the day that we talked about all of that. And then once we have the vision, we have to write it out. Not just type it up in your Google Notes or type it up in your Apple Notes or whatever it is that you like to use electronically. Take your actual hand and take an actual pen or pencil or marker or whatever you like to use to write with and an actual piece of paper and write it down. Hey, Miss Lily. And if you're one of those people that are like, oh no, I cannot read my writing. Well, record yourself saying it, then write it down, and then go back and type it electronically. And you're recording yourself saying it just in case you can't read your handwriting later. But there is something that happens within our inner being when we physically write things out with our hands. God didn't say type the vision. He didn't say audio record the vision. He said write the vision. Diana says, I did this for a whole year watching Julie Green Ministries and have notebooks full of it. It works, guys. Okay, so first we have to be clear on our vision. Now, we've been intimate with God. We've been talking to our main man upstairs, and we're like, okay, God, what you want me to do? How you want me to proceed in this area? Diana says, I don't know why, but I felt like I had to. No, it's good. That was an urge. It's better to write things out. Hey, Izzy. So we done had our conference call with the main man upstairs. He done gave us the vision. Now we done wrote the vision. So now we have stuff to do. Like God, he's going to work his miracles. But remember, faith without works is what? Is dead. So that doesn't mean we just write the vision and we go do nothing. We still have stuff that we have to do to make it become our reality. Okay. Now, can God bless us without us doing anything? Absolutely. But that's not how this works. Okay. This is a group project. You got to do some things, and God's going to take care of some other things that are out of your capabilities. But we learned on previous days that God will not do for you what you can do for you. It's our responsibility to do the natural, and he will do the super. And together, we come together and make supernatural miracles happen in our lives. Okay, so we have to be clear. What do I always say? Fuzzy intentions produce fuzzy results. So if you aren't clear on the vision, can't nobody else be clear on the vision. And the world around you is going to give you exactly what you need according to your vision, according to your thoughts. Let me give you an example. Mercedes says, amen. So here's a great example that I like to use. If I told Carrington to go to the store and get me some bread, that's all I said. I was like, Carrington, look, I'm out of bread. Can you run to the store and get me some bread? And he was like, sure. And he goes to the store. He grabs some bread. He checks out. He comes. He drops it off. And I open the bag. I look at the bread and I'm like, oh, thanks for the bread. I appreciate it. it's not really what I want, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll still take the bread. Um, Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna take it because I'm hungry and I know you went through work to get me the bread. But thank you. And then we go in the kitchen and now we kind of upset because it's not the bread that we actually wanted. It's bread, but not what we wanted bread. Whose fault is that? Carrington's or mine? That's my fault, y'all. Because I wasn't clear. Do you know how many different breads there are? There are literally thousands and thousands of brands of bread. There are stores that only sell bread. A loaf of bread, a roll of bread, a slice of bread. You want Blue Bunny bread? You want Great Value bread? You want Mother Martha's bread? You want sweet bread? You want potato bread? You want healthy bread? You want Weight Watchers bread? There are 50 million thousands of breads. Mercedes says, Amen. Diana and Mercedes says, Yours. Yep. Hey, blessed up heavy. It was nobody's fault but mine, not Carrington's, because I wasn't clear. Brittany says, LOL group hug. Right, because it's my fault. Nancy says, our fault. Oh, thank you for sharing in that responsibility of my fault. Thank you. Thank you. Now, here's a different situation. That's what happens in life. We say we want something, but we're very vague about the thing it is that we want. And then we get mad whenever it doesn't show up exactly how we want it to show up. And then some of us will settle. We'll think, oh, well, this is what I got. This is what all I'm good for, apparently. This is all I'm good enough for. This is all I'm worthy enough for. And that's the enemy speaking those seeds. Mercedes says, be specific. Absolutely. Brittany says, gotta be clear. That's the enemy that wants to plant that seed of, oh, well, this is all I'm good for. So I'll go ahead and take it because, I don't deserve anything better, or, the things I've been through in my life and where I come from, there's no possible way that I could get anything better than this. So thank you for the bread. A lot of us do that every single day in our lives, in our careers, in our relationships, in our financial situations. Nancy says, I like the bread analogy, but wait, it gets better. Because here's the flip side. If I had said, Carrington, I need you to go to Walmart, specifically the Walmart off Highway 45 and Leonard Springs. And when you walk in, you're going to walk down about, walk in the door, and probably about 3 aisles into your walk, you're going to turn left. And when you turn left down aisle 5, you're going to stop kind of in the middle of the aisle. And Carrington, we're going to say that we're the same height, okay? So I'm 5'11". We're going to pretend Carrington is also 5'11". And since we're the same height, I'm going to need you to tilt your head down just a little bit. And then you'll see a row of bread. And it's a blue package, and it's called Lindsay's Favorite Bread, and it's $2.89. And guess what Carrington is going to do? He's going to go to the Walmart off Highway 45 and Leonard Springs. He's going to walk in through the fresh market door, go down 2 or 3 aisles to aisle 5. He's going to turn left. He's going to stop in the middle. He's going to tilt his head down just a little bit, see the blue packaged bread that's $2.89 called Lindsay's Favorite Bread. He's going to grab it. He's going to check out. He's going to come bring me the bread. Carrington, oh my gosh, you're the best. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I wanted. What's the difference between the first scenario and the second? I was clear in the second. I was specific in the second. I knew exactly what I wanted and where to get it. In the first one, I was just very general and vague. And that's what happens in our lives. We don't set clear expectations of the things that we desire in our money, in our relationships, in our friends, in our finances, which is the same as money, in our careers, in our business, in the community that we desire to have. Lori says, you get what you ask for. And so we have to be clear when God gives us the vision and when we have our own vision. because fuzzy intentions produce fuzzy results. So you have to be intentional about the things that you desire for your life, because that's exactly what you're going to get. The world is going to give you what you say, period. So you can't be mad when you don't get exactly what you want. Hey, Portia, Sister Brittany in Oklahoma over on Facebook says, woo. So think about that, especially the next time you're doing a vision board. Don't just go and put a whole bunch of things. So I used to host vision board parties, and they were, I like to think they were different. They weren't any things that I have went to, but how I would do it is we would have all the materials, and I would actually give a presentation on goal setting and visions and things like that. Diana says that's deep. Portia says, how are you? I am well. I'm glad you are tuned in today, Portia. Where are you tuning in from? I know you are overseas, my dear. But I would give a presentation on how to really make goals for yourself the correct way, because there's a lot of misunderstandings about how to properly make goals. And everybody's familiar with the SMART acronym: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time specific. And yes, that's good. That's a part of it, but there's more that can go into it as well. Canada, good to see ya. Okay. And then we would go into making the boards. And as the ladies were making the boards, I would literally go to each one and spend time with them. They got some one-on-one coaching, every person that attended. And what I would often see is that at least half of the women would usually go about making their vision boards by putting pretty pictures and putting pretty words. And I would say, okay, tell me why you put this one on your board. Oh, I just thought it was pretty and I liked it, so I wanted to put it on there. Don't do that, boo. Don't do that, because the things you are putting on your board, you are creating for your life. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, if it doesn't have a purpose in you, in your life, you're going to get it. And it's like, okay, this is nice. Thank you. But you're not going anywhere. It's not taking you in a direction towards anything. Lori says, please, I need it. Goal setting. Diana says, that's deep. Portia says, vision board is overrated. People are doing it nowadays for the sake of it without intentionality. I will usually help them to map it out. Exactly. Because making a vision board is the in thing to do in recent years, especially since COVID. But you got to be intentional about how you're making it. You can't just go putting pretty pictures on there for the sake of pretty pictures. And then I will see a lot of times where it would just be cluttered with a whole bunch of things. And I would say, okay, I want you to look at your board. Tell me what type of organization or what type of peace. Do you feel peaceful looking at that? Because it looks like a whole bunch of chaos. And so what you are unintentionally doing is inviting a whole bunch of chaos into your life. Does this make sense? This is why we got to write the vision and make it plain. God didn't say make it chaotic and have 50 million things on there just because it's pretty, or you think you should put it on there because somebody told you that that's what you should do in your life. No, we have to be intentional. Hey, Lady T. Hey, Katina. We have to be clear on the vision, realistic on the vision. If you struggle with managing money, you can't put, okay, I want $1 million in a month. Not that God can't do it, because he absolutely will. But how realistic is that for you? And even if you did get that $1 million in a month, what is the likelihood that you are going to maintain it and steward it well? Because how you manage $5 is how you manage $5 million. More money does not solve your problems. It only amplifies the problems that you already are experiencing. It only amplifies the issues that you already have in your life. So if you don't know how to manage $5 properly, you won't know how to manage $5 million properly. So if you haven't went through the process to learn the skills and develop the things and tools and resources that you need to properly manage money, whether it's 5 or 5,000, 500 or 5 million, then you don't need to have $5 million right now. And sometimes that's where the waiting comes in. Okay, so being realistic about the things, not that 5 million can't be the goal, the end goal, the overall big goal, but what's something more in our wheelhouse right now? Hey, Mohandas. Okay, understanding your values, that's important to the vision. Because why would you want a vision that doesn't align with your values? But most of us don't even know what our values are. And so when we're faced with a decision, we struggle with the decision. Or we make a decision and it brings chaos or it brings trouble into our lives because it doesn't align with our values. But we don't recognize that. However, if we would have said, this don't align with my values, so I'm going to decline it, because we don't have to accept everything that's offered to us. Remember, we learned in previous days, just because it's good doesn't mean it's of God. And what's for one person isn't necessarily for you. So making sure that we understand our values, because that helps us in the future to make decisions that are in alignment with the goals that we are working towards. Because if we know that we're working towards goal A and our value is integrity, and then we're presented with an opportunity that seems real nice, because remember, the enemy will tempt us with beautiful gifts. And it's not until we open it and get inside, when we're in too deep, that we realize it was really just gift wrapped crap. And so sometimes we're presented with opportunities that look real nice on the outside and like, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect for the things that I'm working on, only to get it and it's boo-boo. But if we look at that opportunity and say, wait a minute, I know that this seems nice, but over here in this tiny little fine print, it goes against the things of my values, the things that I believe. And so I'm going to decline on this opportunity. And guess what? God's going to have something bigger and better to replace that, especially because you use your discernment. So understanding your values is important when you're writing the vision. Focusing. Ooh, you know what? Before I move on to focusing, let me give you just a quick scenario. I was presented with the role. So all of you guys know I'm a mindset expert, speaker, and actress. And my acting journey has really taken off and opened up new doors and opened up a new audience. And I was presented with a role that I didn't have to audition for, mind you. Hey, Made Perfect. Because they had already seen my previous work and saw my work ethic and what I bring to the table. And so they approached me and said, we have this role for you. We want you to be the lead in this movie. And here's what it entails. I said, excuse me, what? You want me to do what? Oh, no, but I can't do that. I can't do that. And so they said, okay, well, here's this other role. We really want you in this role, but here's the two that you would fit and that we really want you in. Like, you can do this one, but we really prefer if you do this one. I said, okay, tell me about this one. And we actually wanted you to do this one first, but we didn't know if you would do that one. So we want you to do this one. Okay, well, this one, already goes against my values. Tell me about this one that you wanted me in the first place. Okay, tell me all the details. Excuse me, what? No, thank you. I'm gonna have to pass. Oh no, but this is a great opportunity, and most people would not even pass. And the ones that do pass, they're not doing anything in their career. So, like, you should really do these. Nope. I'm gonna have to pass. And the enemy worked me, y'all. He was definitely working me, because afterwards he was like, well, maybe you can just talk to them and see if they change it like this or change it like this. And I actually did have that conversation, but they weren't really giving and I wasn't really giving. And I was like, well, is there a way that I can make it work? That was the enemy. It seemed real nice. And he was trying to get me to bend just a little bit, because if we can get ourselves to bend just a little bit, Kay, then He can make us bend a little bit more and then bend a little bit more. And then the next thing we know, we find ourselves in a completely different situation that we never wanted in the first place. So that's why we have to be careful whenever we're bending or whenever we're doing something that seems, oh, that's just nothing, or oh, I was just joking. Okay, you open that door if you want to. So, anywho, here's what happened. We had another call about these two roles. They really wanted me in this role, right? And I said, okay, well, here's what it is, because what I'm not going to do is this, this, and this. And one role has this, the other role has these two things, all three things that I'm not going to do. I was adamant. They were adamant. They said, okay, well, we'll see what we can work out. After that call, I let it go. Can I tell y'all the weight that was already lifted off of my shoulders just from that? Like, I had a stressful week thinking about the situation and thinking about what to do and how to handle it professionally, and how maybe I can get them to change and be flexible so that I could do the role. So after that third call, I said, no, you know what? It's all right. It's just I won't have the role. And what's for me is for me. And I just know God will have something bigger and better. And I let it go. And I was at peace with it. No more stress. I was at peace with the decision. Nancy says, way to go. You were clear. Thank you, Nancy. It was stressful, but eventually I got there. So I say all that to say, fast forward, I got offered a role in the same movie. And it wasn't either of the roles that I was talking about and in discussions about. It was a completely different role. And guess what? Not only had I been offered the role, but the role was changed so that I would still be a lead character, which wasn't in the script before. But a lead character minus the things that I said I wouldn't do, because I stuck to my values. I know the vision. God said, okay, I'm going to take you on this acting journey, Lindsay, because I want to open you up to a bigger audience in the name of the Lord, right? And here's the thing. I don't want you to do acting like everybody else does acting. I don't want you to feel like you have to be naked and show your tail and show your boobs and show everything and like be busting it wide open for everybody and their mama to make it in acting. That's the vision that God gave for me on this acting journey, that you are to be an actress of a certain standard. Now, I don't mean like I'm not going to do intimate scenes. Yeah, okay. If I need to kiss my husband in the scene, I will kiss my husband, but we're not about to bust it wide open, okay? We're not doing all that. I'm not about to be shaking my boobies in the middle of the camera frame, okay? Happy Chica, good to see you back again. Lori says, good for you and congratulations on the role. Thank you, Lori. Nancy says, values first. And so I say all that to say, not only did I still end up with the role, but the role was revised to fit and still be a lead in the movie. Diana says, awesome. Happy Chica says, hi. But I stuck to my values. My values led my decision making versus me not having any values and not knowing the vision that I had for that specific journey, and taking the role and then finding myself in an uncomfortable position, in an uncomfortable situation. I got to think about my whole business, my whole brand, my whole image. I got to think about if I want my children to see me buzzing it wide open on camera or not. Now, some people are okay with that. That is their choice. That is their business. This is not a judgment zone. But for me and myself, no, thank you. So again, clear on the vision, clear on understanding your values and what they are, being intentional. Okay. Another thing that we have to do when we're writing the vision, Brittany says, congratulations. Well, thank you. Thank you. Nancy says, sticking to your foundational principles. Yes. When we have them, it makes decision making so much easier, because then we can just do a litmus test and say, okay, does it align with this value? Yes. This value? Yes. This value? Yes. This value? No. Okay. If it doesn't align with all of them, then it doesn't align with any of them. Because if we have just a little bit of bending and a little bit of wiggle room, then that opens the doors for the enemy to come in and stretch us even more in the wrong direction. Diana says, that's the way to do it. I'm so proud of you. That must have been tough. Yes, it was extremely tough. As my best friend, I was going through it. But I'm grateful. I was going through it. I was weak in the knees because of the things that were promised with the role. It's like it was right in my hand, Lord. And then it was gone. But then it came back differently, more in alignment with myself and with God's purpose in that journey. Another thing is we have to be focused. What do we talk about all the time, family? Say it with me. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, and the things you focus on, you attract more of into your life. Hey, sunshine. Hey, Tanita. So we have to be laser focused on the vision. And guess what? You're likely going to reach that vision a lot sooner than you expected. Let me give you some examples. Ooh, today, so I had a rap party for a different movie that I was in. And at the end of it, we played some games and I got nominated for one of the games to be the person. It was females against males. Okay. And it was a whole bunch of mixed up Skittles. And then we had to organize the Skittles in the different cups by color. So all the reds in one cup, all the blues in one cup, all the greens in one cup. I don't think there were blue Skittles, but whatever, you get the point. And rather than taking the Skittles and picking them up and then dropping them wherever they need to go, okay, yellow over here. Oh, I got a green one, put it here. Oh, red one, put it there. Purple one, another yellow, put it over there. Orange, put it right there. No, you want to know what I did? I said, okay, let me get ready. Okay, we're going to start with yellow. Yellow, 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 green, 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 green. All the green gone. Purple, 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 purple. And guess what? I killed the boys, okay? Not only once, but twice because the boys was trying to cheat on the girls. And we started the game and then they noticed like I was flowing and I was moving. And so they were like, wait, we don't understand the rules. And then they tagged that one out and put somebody else in. And we had to start all over. I said, it's okay. God got me and I'm focused. and we did it again. So technically we won twice. Hey Noel. Hey Lindsay. Good to see you. Hey Dave. Nancy says strategy. Yes. And I say that to say I was focused on one singular color. And because I was focused on one singular color, it allowed me to move faster and achieve my goal a lot faster than if I would have been focused on all the colors, because all the colors mixed together was a whole pile of chaos. And we often do that in our lives. We're focused over here and we're focused over here and then we're focused over there and then we're focused in our neighbor's house, which ain't even none of our business. And then we're focused over here and then over here. And we're stretching ourselves then because we're focused on too many things. And guess what? Most of them don't even align with the goals that we have for ourselves. What? And so in the Skittle game, my goal was to win. How do I win? I'd be the first person to get all the Skittles in their color orders in the cups. How do I do that? I focus on a singular color, a singular goal, knock that one out, then go to the next one. We can do the same thing in our lives. When we get laser focused and block out the noise, block out the clutter, we can go a lot faster, a lot more smoothly. It's not as chaotic. We can see when things are out of place a lot easier. So I used to work at a bank and it would always like grind my gears whenever I would get to a till, the things that hold the money, and all the dollars would be like all different kinds of ways. This one's face up, this one's face down, this one's crumpled a little bit, because whenever it's chaotic, it makes it harder to see how much money you have. It makes it easier to lose money. It makes it easier to mismanage the money. It makes it easier to confuse a 5 with a 50. So there has to be order and focus. And so usually I still do this to this day. Anytime I have cash in my wallet, which who carries cash anymore these days, but anytime I have cash, I will face all my bills. So all the ones will go together, all the fives will go together, all the tens will go together, and so on and so forth. But all the ones will be facing the same direction. All the fives will be facing the same direction. And then the ones and the fives will be facing the same direction. Now, some people might call this OCD or like, girl, just you don't got to do all that. But listen, what did I say? How you manage $5 is how you manage 5 million. And whenever it's all mixed up and chaotic like that, it is easier to lose the money. It is easier to confuse the money. It is easier to mismanage the money. I'm not just doing it because I like things in order. No, I'm doing it for a specific reason to help me track and manage my money effectively because I want my money to grow. I want to be a good steward of my money. Does that make sense, guys? Nancy says, I'm living in chaos. Day 41 is exactly what I needed. And we are glad you are here, Sister Nancy. Y'all know we love us some Nancy. Hey, Brian, I didn't see you sneak in there. Okay, so we have to have focus for our vision, focus in our lives. Okay. I'll give you one more example. Back whenever I was in direct sales, initially, I just wanted to sell the product. I did not want to build a team because I didn't want people to feel like I was trying to force them to join the company and sell the products. So I just sell the products, and usually I didn't even talk about the business side of things. And every now and then somebody might sign up under me, and okay, great. But I wasn't really focused on that. But then I had a perspective shift, a mindset shift. And I learned some things and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And it wasn't about me being stingy. That's not the word I'm looking for. It wasn't about me forcing the company on anybody. That was a different way of thinking. It was more so about I have built this business in direct sales and it offered me opportunities that I didn't have otherwise outside of my direct sales business. And so rather than be stingy, so I guess that is the word that I wanted, rather than be stingy about the opportunity that I was afforded, I am going to share with you that same opportunity and you can do with it what you want. Take it or don't take it. But I want to help you like I was able to be helped. And here's the thing, when I first started intentionally trying to build a team, it kind of went and like ebbed and flowed. I did good, I kind of did not good. And I used to say, here, remember, we talked about the things that we speak over ourselves, that the power of the tongue has the power to speak life or death. And when I first started building a team, it was all over the place and it wasn't consistent because what were the words that I was saying to myself? I was saying, I'm not good at recruiting. I'm not good at team building. And guess what happened? I wasn't good at recruiting. I wasn't good at team building. I wasn't good at maintaining a team because those were the things that I spoke, which means those were the things that I believed, which means I behaved in a certain way that attract that exact situation. I had the vision, but it was a little bit fuzzy. And so then I had to get clear. Okay. This is what I want. And for the sake of not remembering the titles and they were all over the place, we're just going to call them levels. Let's say that I was at level 1 and I consistently flopped between level 1 and level 2. I was like, okay, I want to be at level 4 by the end of the year. Now, mind you, this is early spring, okay? Aprilish, March, April, May, something like that. And I was like, okay, I want to be at level 4 by the end of the year. And I focused on that goal. I was very clear on that goal. I want this many people on my team and leading them properly and training them properly. And I focused. I was clear. I was focused. I understood what I wanted. I was realistic. I wasn't like, let me get to level 100 and I can barely keep at level 2. Okay. And then guess what? Not only did I hit level 4, but I hit level 6 by August. Once I had that shift in my mindset and I got focused and I was clear, I surpassed my goal by 2 in a shorter amount of time. I said level 2 or level 4 by December. I made level 6 by August. So write the vision, make it plain, make it clear, understand what it is that you want, understand what it is that you don't want as well, because that's important to know and be aware of. But then that's not where we're going to focus. We're going to focus on what we do want, understand your values, and focus, focus, focus. You have to be laser focused. You guys following? Nancy says, too many distractions. Okay. Oh, guys, that was a lot. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Sauls. Hey, Bogan. So we have to do the same thing with our goals. And most importantly, we have to make sure that our goals and our visions are in alignment with God's vision for our lives. Because sometimes the things that we want are not necessarily good for us. We don't realize it's not good for us. Sometimes God is saying, no, you can't have that for our protection. Sometimes God's not saying no, but he's saying not yet. And so, like the verse said, let me go back to it really fast. Right here. We can't give up. But we have to have an intimate relationship with God so we can recognize when he's saying no versus when he's saying not yet. Because if he's saying no, okay, let me wrap it up and move on to what I'm supposed to be doing. But if he's saying not yet, let me make sure I don't give up when the times get hard. I don't give up in the middle of the struggle, because we have learned on previous days that the enemy wants us to give up. But if this is the vision that God has for us, then we have to make sure that we keep on waiting and doing what we're supposed to do in the meantime, because it will happen. You got it, pretty woman? Okay, guys. So that's all the notes that I have for you guys. And I have so many different techniques on creating effective goals, effective visions and things, but we would be here a whole nother hour, family. And I don't know about y'all, but I got to get up early in the morning. Okay. So I can't do that. So here is our day 41 intentional insight and act. And it's very simple. For the next 24 hours, we're going to pick a time in our day. We're going to prioritize, and we are simply going to write the vision and make it plain. Period. Don't do it in 2 days. Do it in the next 24 hours. So if you're about to go to sleep, do it when you get up tomorrow. If you're working on your day already because you're overseas somewhere, then do it before you go to sleep. Okay? Write the vision and make it plain. What is your vision for the next 30 days? What is your vision for the next 3 months? What vision do you have overall? Like the ultimate vision. Like I have a spreadsheet that I'm working on, goals of 300. And I literally have made, I'm not to 300 yet. I can't print it out until I get to 300. And I'm struggling on this last 40. And I don't want repeats of any things that I've already put. But I've started writing it. But then I was getting confused on what I had written and what I hadn't written. So then that's when I made a spreadsheet, and this is for money, this is for business, this is for acting, this is for spirituality, and I made the different things. And then it's easier for me to keep it organized and see if I already wrote something or not. Okay. And it's literally 300 things. You can ask my best friend, because I'm trying to push her to do it as well. Diana says, I never did anything with all my writings. They are stuffed in notebooks. Well, Diana, what have we learned in previous days? It's not good enough for us to just take in the information, but we have to be willing to implement it as well. Hey, Rhiannon. So it does no good for us to take in all the things that we're learning. It does no good for us to take in devotional time for mindset lessons and then do nothing with it, which is exactly why we have our intentional insights at the end of every lesson, so that we can take action in the next 24 hours. Diana says, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do with it. Well, you know what? My suggestion would be to just pray over it. Ask God what you are supposed to do with those notes. Lead you to a specific page and focus on that. Remember, this might be maybe where you're struggling. Don't focus on all the notebooks and all the pages. Just pick one thing. Say, okay, let me go to this page and focus on something from this specific page. Let me implement one thing. Because sometimes when we go to conferences, we hear all these great speakers and we have all these pages of notes. And then we go home and we get overwhelmed because we don't know where to start. It's too much going on. Just pick one or two things to implement over the next 24 hours, the next 30 days, or so on and so forth. That doesn't mean you won't get to the rest, but you can't do it all at the same time. Diana says, my husband made me feel dumb. And she says, okay, well, I pray that situation is smoothed over, because that was the enemy working in that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If your husband made you feel dumb or inadequate in any kind of way, that was the enemy trying to draw a wedge between you and your husband. Oh, she says we are now split. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that with us and just being vulnerable in that space. And I'm going to join you in prayer. I'm sure some more devotional time for mindset will join you in prayer. But I pray that can get worked out, whatever is best fit for you guys. Okay, whether that means staying together and working it out or going your separate ways. I don't know your whole situation. So whatever is God's will, I'm praying that it works out in that way. I'm now living alone and praying every day. Maybe this was your time to get closer to God, because sometimes we can put our relationships above God. Nancy says prayers to you over on Clubhouse. Nancy says, oh, I missed this one. Thank you. I need to do it before Usher. Yes. You do it before Usher. Everybody that's tuning into the Super Bowl, do it before Usher comes on. Okay. Diana says, thank you all. Absolutely. She's going with God. Hey, Reverend John. So write the vision, make it plain. And for those of you that missed the day that we talked about doing the daily brain detox, I don't remember what day that was, but go to www.yourbraindetox.com and download that file there, because that's going to help you to prioritize your goals, especially if they're all over the place, so that you can focus on, does this lead me closer to my goal or further away from my goal? Is it something that I need to do that has nothing to do with my goals? Like, yes, I need to go to the doctor and have a physical, or I need to go to the dentist and get my regular cleaning. Those are things that I need to do in my life, but they don't necessarily lead me towards any of my goals outside of living healthier. Okay. But then here are all the other things that I want to do. This one's a distraction. This one's a distraction. This one's a distraction. Oh, this one will lead me towards my goal. This one's a distraction. This one, I don't need that one. Oh, this one will lead me to my. So it will literally help you to organize your goals and prioritize them at the same time. So yourbraindetox.com. yourbraindetox, yourbraindetox.com. Katasha says, great direction tonight. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And again, we talked about this a little bit. I don't remember what day that was. But yeah, so go back and watch one of the replays. I feel like it was in the last week or so, where this was part of the lesson. Diana has heart emojis over on TikTok. Hey, Arnetta, welcome back. Hey, Dee, I see you back on Clubhouse. Okay, guys, so that is your intentional act for the next 24 hours to write the vision and make it plain. Oh, I didn't finish telling you about my list of 300. So it's literally a list of 300 things. And once I finally get to 300, which I'm stuck around 260 right now, then I will actually print it out and I will read it every single day. And I'm also going to go back and rewrite every single last 300 of them, because the things I'm telling you to do are not things that I wouldn't do myself. because that would make me a hypocrite. No, like if I'm suggesting you do it, I would do it too if it applies to me. And the things I'm sharing right now are universal. So they easily apply to all of us. And anytime it's a specific situation, then I will say that, well, this may apply to you or this may apply to you, but it won't apply to everyone. But in this case, this applies to everyone. So I will print it out once I get to 300. I will rewrite them so that I actually wrote every 300 out with my hand. And then I will read it every single day, because the more I am focused on them, and some of them are short term, some of them are long term, some of them are part of my 10-year vision for the legacy that I'm looking to create for my family. They're all on there at different levels. But I'm going to focus on the things I can control. I'm going to focus my mind on seeing the vision every single day. Because if I see the vision and I focus on the vision, then my behaviors will change in a way that is in alignment with the vision. And then it's only a matter of time before God opens up the floodgates. And some of them, because I started this maybe in like November, and my goal was to have it done by the end of the year, but I didn't. I could have beat myself up over that, but I didn't, because I know how the enemy is working. I just kept going. I said, okay, I didn't get it done by December, but we're just going to keep adding and keep adding and keep going and keep going. And some of them I've already started checking off. I've checked off at least 5, if not 10 of them already. And I haven't even printed it out yet and started reading it every day. So I can only imagine the speed at which it will come a lot faster once I start doing that, because my thoughts are going to be focused on the vision. And it's going to start to impact my behaviors, which is going to impact my environment and the reality that I find myself living in. Hey, Capricorn love. Okay, guys. So that is your day 41 intentional act, to write the vision and make it plain. And if you're just tuning in, Capricorn love and Cami, then make sure you go to YouTube and watch the replay, okay? Because we talked about some good stuff tonight. All right. MindsetMasterSuite.com is where you can find the links to all the things. Please share this live stream out wherever you are tuned in from. Please leave your questions and your comments down in the comment section, and I will do my best to get to those. And then if Devotional Time for Mindset has impacted you in any way, then please go to mindsetmastersuite.com and click on the leave a testimony button and let me know exactly how it has impacted your life. I would greatly appreciate it. We want to make sure that our time here is not in vain. Yes. Okay. So mindsetmastersuite.com is where you can find all of the things. You can download your free copy of the book Battlefield of the Mind Devotional by Joyce Meyer. You can submit a prayer request at mindsetmastersuite.com. Download the book at mindsetmastersuite.com. You can check out all of the tools and resources at mindsetmastersuite.com. Michelle says, good night. Thanks for sharing. Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in. I know you guys could be doing anything in the world, but you have spent the last hour and a half here with me yet again, and I greatly appreciate it. I am thinking of you often and praying for you always. Diana says, good night, and thank you all. This is great stuff. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Nancy says, thank you so much. You are a gift. Thank you, Nancy. You are as well. I love each and every one of you. Devotional Time for Mindset family. And I will see you guys tomorrow. FYI, for those of you on TikTok, I'm not sure if I will have a TikTok live tomorrow because I'm going to be out of town. And I did order a new phone, but it is not going to be here till Monday. Because right now, like, I literally have my laptop, I have my phone, I have my son's phone, and I have my iPad. But when I go out of town, I can't take my son's phone with me. And my new phone won't be here yet, because then I'll have my old phone and I'll have my new phone. So fingers crossed. But if you don't see me on TikTok, just go to mindsetmastersuite.com and click one of the other platforms, okay? Because I will have my phone, my iPad, and my laptop. So all the other ones will be good. Capricorn Love says, it's nice to see you. I enjoyed doing the devotional with you on Clubhouse from this. Oh, wait, for this. Grew a lot from that. Thanks for everything. Capricorn love. Look, y'all. See, look. Y'all think I was lying. I told y'all I don't be lying to y'all. Brittany, she says, thanks, love. Capricorn love 1980 over on Instagram says, it's nice to see you. I enjoyed doing the devotional with you on Clubhouse for this. Because remember, I told y'all January 1st, 2021, I did this for the first time and it was only on Clubhouse. And she says, I grew a lot from that. Thanks for everything. Yeah, she says it was like 2 years ago. Can you believe it was actually 3 years ago? Time flies when you're having fun, right? Yes, it was January 1st, 2021 that I did it for 100 days on Clubhouse. Katina says, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Katina. And I hope you join us again, Capricorn Love. We're here same time, same place every single day through mid-April. April 9th is our last day. April 9th, that's the evening. So for those of you overseas, that would be like April 10th for you because you're already into the next day. But you'll know because you'll see it. Okay, every single day, weekends and holidays included, same time, same place, midnight Eastern time. So if you're in a different time zone, make sure you convert what that time is for you. Mindsetmastersuite.com is where you can find all of the things. Capricorn Love says, yes, loved you. Keisha, and cannot remember the third name, but loved you all. Katrina, yes. Well, Sharn Trina, not Katrina. Trina for short. Her full name was Sharn Trina, but she just goes by Trina. So thank you. Me, Keisha, and Trina. Keisha and Trina were the helpmates that God sent me that I didn't know that I was gonna need. Y'all think I'll be making these stories up, okay? I told y'all. Integrity is a part of my personal values and professional values, y'all. So I'm not making these stories up. They are real life examples. But thank you for sharing that, Capricorn Love. And I hope that you come back and join us tomorrow or any day that you are available. And all the replays for the past 41 days are up on YouTube. Nancy has the hand clap emojis. Capricorn Love has the heart and praying hands emojis. And with that, guys, that is a wrap on day 41. I will see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. Mindsetmastersuite.com is where you can find all the things. Okay. So adios. Now y'all get to watch me turn off all of these platforms. This is when I need 5 hands.